How you doing, Carrie?
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, okay.
We're live. You're being broadcast to billions of people. Oh, man. We are really scraping the bottom of the barrel with this guest. Tosh Show. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show. Welcome to Tosh Show, the number 15 podcast in the world, depending on when you check the charts. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm a little nervous because I know what today is. Today is the day that I get feedback from all the people that leave me comments. And the first time we did this, it was overwhelmingly positive. And I heard the tide has changed.
It's shifted a bit.
Okay, bring it.
All right, here we go. Should have named the pod Toshing Salad.
You know what? That's a great idea. The problem is we've already embroidered 1,000 fleece vests with Tosh Show. So it's too late.
I think it'd be cool to bring on some memorable guests from tosh.o, like Fanny. I'd also love to see an interview with your wife.
Well, now, in a perfect world, that would be one interview. I've asked my wife if she would be on the show, and she's reluctant to do it because she won't agree to my terms. And that's that I get to ask her any questions I want, especially about all her alt-right friends and their marriages. She's very nervous about that.
For someone who talks about abortion a lot, it is wild how he has a child.
Uh-oh. Eddie, hit the sirens. Dumbest comment ever. Oh. Yeah, see, the difference is my wife and I wanted to have a child. Now, if my wife, when she was 12 years old, was raped by her uncle and she wanted to get rid of that baby, I would just hope that there were no laws in place that would stop her from doing that. And I wouldn't care if it was from conception up until crowning. Anything she wants to get rid of that inbred demon seed. Do you see the difference? One was us wanting a child, and the other is me wanting her rights to be protected when she was a child.
The entertainment business is littered with pedos, and Tosh knows that. He knows that.
All right, first of all, I don't know my own Twitter login. I don't know my mailing address. What else don't I know? I just discovered I have a TikTok account. So let me assure you of this. I know nothing. I said this before, and people were like, oh, pedophiles, they're not going to announce that they're pedophiles. It's the law. They're supposed to. They're supposed to knock on your door and say, hey, I'm a pedophile. I live nearby. That was my whole point. And when I said that, was that I don't know any pedophile. Because I don't. Like, you think in a town where people just gossip constantly, I would hear it once, like, hey, did you hear so-and-so? I think he's a pedophile. I've just never heard that, and I'm being honest. So when people say that this town is just nothing but pedophiles, I'm like, okay, that's not true. But that's based on my experience. Maybe everyone that's a pedophile is really good at keeping a secret. Which I guess that's probably a strong prerequisite.
Did Tosh turn super libtard? I think so. Time to unsub, I guess.
You know, my mom, she thinks that I'm a closet conservative, that I only pretend to be liberal for my work. Well, seriously, watch. I'll call her. Let's see if she answers. She probably won't. She better not pick up.
Yeah, hey, this is Margo. Sorry I missed your call. Please leave a message and I'll get...
Hello?
Why won't Mom answer her phone?
Oh, she doesn't have it right now. She's
Where is she?
Margo. She's in washing clothes right now.
Let me talk to her. Will you go give her the phone, please?
I have to get out of this chair then. Hold on. Margot. Oh, I guess she went to get the flag.
What?
What? Hold on.
You guys are so patriotic.
Oh, I don't know where she is now.
You guys live in like
Where's Mom?
300 square feet.
Oh, it's cold here.
Great. Have you spotted her?
Yeah, she's coming. She's right here.
Let me talk to her for 1 second.
Daniel, he wants to talk to you. One doesn't want to talk to me.
I don't want to talk to you. Hey.
What's up?
Where's your phone?
Oh, I went out to bring the flag in. I gotta.
Wait, hey.
We're leaving in the morning.
All right, hey, listen. You're on speakerphone right now, so don't say anything awful about anybody. Hey, don't you think that I'm a closet, like secretly conservative, and I only pretend to be liberal for television?
That's in my dreams. I hope that. But I don't know if that's. I believe that.
Okay. Oh, so you don't believe that?
No.
No.
Are you?
Am I closet conservative?
Yeah.
No. All right. I'll call you later. Love you. Goodbye.
Okay. Bye.
I didn't know. I thought she actually believed it.
Next one up. What's the best place for us poors to support Tosh? Spotify or YouTube?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm told you can listen to the show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast. I've never checked myself. This could be a very elaborate prank being played on me. Just a reminder that I don't have to do this show. As a matter of fact, I don't want to do this show. The reason I'm doing this show is because I trust that God has a plan.
I have a brain tumor. Send me good vibes, Daniel.
You know, that's why we do the show. To give a great guy, I'm guessing, he could be a piece of shit, but let's just say for the sake of argument, it's a good guy and he's got a brain tumor. So let's just send him good vibes because we don't want anyone to have to go through that. No matter what your political stance is, unless it's different than mine, then you know what? I probably don't care as much. But I'm going to send you good vibes.
This podcast is just making me realize how out of touch and LA Daniel Tosh is.
You know, calling me out of touch is not an insult. Yeah, I'm out of touch with your reality. I don't know what a gallon of milk costs. Do you know what it costs to charter a Hawker 900 from LA to New York? Our lives are different. I've never had a real job as an adult. I didn't get into showbiz so I could have a normal life. I can be down to earth, okay? But those two things are different. Being down to earth and out of touch are very different. Do I have to live in Tulsa and manage a Hobby Lobby for 30 years to be considered normal? Choosing to live in Oklahoma is out of touch in my book. That's why highways were invented, so people could drive the fuck out of Oklahoma. If you want to listen to someone who's super in touch, I recommend listening to your roommate's podcast.
Something is breaking in the comedy world, where I think some people are starting to see they were the people who the jokes were on all along, but think Tosh changed. It's interesting. Can we talk about how fire Tosh's outfits have been? Without the ongoing theme, his fits have all been 10 out of 10.
That's really nice. That's really nice. Almost as if we planned that to segue into today's guest. Because I hate picking out clothes, but I know enough about fashion to hire someone who lives for it. Now, there might be some sticker shock in this interview when Carrie and I talk dollar amounts for clothing, but I want you to know that I got a different TV show to pay for it. And then I wore it on here first. Enjoy. Tosh Show. If you've ever wondered why I dress like an idiot or enjoyed a Christmas gift I gave you, thank our next guest because she picked it out. Please welcome my stylist for over 15 years, the always stressed out Carrie.
Hi.
Are you stressed out currently?
No, I'm very relaxed.
All right, Carrie. We've worked together for a long time. You're from Orange County.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, I am from Orange. I was born there. And I moved all around and then went back there for high school.
I assume your goal was to become a desperate housewife?
That's what I think my mom would have loved that, but no.
Did you grow up rich?
I did, then we didn't.
Oh, your dad
We had
fucked
money,
up?
then we didn't. I don't know what happened.
What's your dad do for a living?
He was in commercial real estate until like the late 80s, and then it kind of all went south.
What'd your mom do?
She was just a housewife.
Was she?
Yeah, and then she had to go back to work.
Where did she go to work?
Like she was a
Strip club?
receptionist.
Oh.
No, she was like a receptionist. It's some engineering firm in Irvine for a little while. She had to figure it out. I mean,
Were you proud of being from Orange County? Did you think that was like cool growing up?
No.
You didn't?
No.
I always, because I
you.
always thought of Orange County as a cool place when I was a kid in Florida, like the OC. You just hear about it. You think it's the greatest place on earth.
I mean, I don't know. It was kind of cool. I had like a DJ boyfriend.
You did?
Yeah, I used to go to raves and the whole thing.
Oh,
when I was like that age, I was into house music.
Oh, so we all were.
And
I had my tongue pierced.
Like I went to high school with Heather Sweet, who's Dita Von Teese.
What's her DJ name?
I think it's Dita Von Teese.
Is
it Teese?
Is she popular, a big star or something?
Yeah, do you not know who she is?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, she's like a huge burlesque star.
Oh, burlesque.
Yeah, but she was like, during that time, she was like a very high-end kind of stripper at these raves. It would be like the main one on stage or whatever.
Oh, so she wasn't a DJ at all.
No, she's not the DJ. I didn't date her. I had a boyfriend that was a DJ.
Jesus.
Was that a hard story to follow?
I mean, I don't know. All right, first question that I ask all my guests. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're so
Absolutely. I had an apartment in West Hollywood, and I just moved in there, and my microwave turned on.
No, I don't give a fuck.
You don't want to hear this story?
No, I don't want to hear the story.
I just proclaimed for them to go away, and it was fine. Yeah,
Anybody that believes in ghosts, that's all I need to know about them.
I've never seen one. I do not want to see one.
All right, pop quiz, hot shot. What size shoe am I?
12.
What's my waist size?
34.
But sometimes
you're a 36.
But I tell you to still say it's a 34?
You do, and then I just have to make them bigger or do like some sneaky things.
Uh-huh. All right. What size head do I have?
Oh, it's like 7 7/8.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah.
I hate your head so big.
So big.
So bad. I
It's
hate
the
buying
biggest
hats
head
for
in
you.
the
I
biz.
hate it so much. Anytime there's a hat or a jumpsuit, it's like a very stressful
Oh, because I'm
day.
very long from crotch to throat.
Yes, so I have to get you like double, triple, extra large and then take it in.
Yeah. That's neat.
So,
That's neat that you know how to
yes.
do all that stuff. Let's start with, how did you become a stylist?
I went to USC for fine art.
Oh.
Then I graduated and was like, what am I going to do with this degree, basically? And there's
How much does USC cost back then?
I mean, I transferred in there and I was there 2.5 years.
Because you went to school there in the 70s?
No, mid-90s.
How old are you?
50. I just turned 50.
50
You're
years
close.
old.
Don't even say anything.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I'm not even in the ballpark.
You're very close.
Huh. All right.
Yes.
So you're 50 years old.
50. I just turned 50 in May.
Wow. Half a century.
Yep.
Woo, that's some baggage.
Yes.
All right. So let's go back to how you got into show business
okay.
as a stylist.
So
for the stars.
I needed a job, and where I went to school. There was like film people there, and they started working on a show called Singled Out with Shannon McCarthy.
Oh, I loved it. I loved Singled Out.
Right. So they were trying to cast me because I had really short hair. And
Cast you as what?
Like one of the girls on the show.
Just a contestant.
Like a contestant.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to be Jenny McCarthy.
No.
I was almost going to just reach across this table and strangle you.
No, it was like one of the girls, like one of the dating things. And I really don't like to be on camera at all. I get very nervous. And I said, no, I don't want to be on the show, but I need a job. So I got hired in the art department. I was a PA in the art department. And then I could make a lot of things. And I think people like took notice of it because I could sew and like make props and do all these things. And I just started getting hired.
All right. What was the first like good job you had as like the head stylist on?
It was a show with Ahmed Zappa was hosting it, and I can't remember what it was called.
Don't give a shit. What about The Bachelor?
Oh, yeah. So I did all these little shows. And then one of the producers for MTV jumped to ABC, and he took me with him. So I was 28, and then I started working on The Bachelor.
So you were never young.
I mean, that's young.
So they went to ABC, and they started The Bachelor.
Yes.
So you were on the very beginning of The Bachelor.
Very start of it.
Seasons 1 through what?
1, 2, 3.
And then you were fired.
Then I was fired because
What was going on in that show, though? A lot
of crazy things. A lot of I feel like there was a lot of drugs and alcohol and wife swapping and craziness happening. Like there's
You're talking about with the crew.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. There was like crazy stuff going on. And I didn't exactly partake at all. I don't think that was like looked at favorably. So I was I wasn't playing.
I hear what you're saying.
I was not playing the game.
You're right. You're me too in that whole crew.
It was so complicated because nothing was ever said. You know what I mean? It was just like, I was supposed to hire somebody that I was asked to hire that was one of the executive's assistants, and I did. And then I didn't do a good enough job of that. I didn't know I was supposed to fire everybody and just hire this person. So I was then fired. But from that show, then I did all of the like knockoffs. Flavor of Love, Rock of Love, I Love New York. I did all those shows.
And then you ran into the guy that fired you ran into him years later, and he apologized.
He
said I had a problem with cocaine.
Yeah, he totally apologized to me. He knew. He was like, I'm really sorry, and sorry how I treated you. And
that's because he didn't want you to write an article about him.
Maybe.
Who are some of the most famous people you've wardrobed?
I've dressed a lot of comedians. I've done a ton of stuff for ABC and Disney. Like when I did The Bachelor.
Give me fucking people's names.
I'm trying to think of people's names I think they're all from like the 90s though.
I don't care who. Paul Reiser?
I don't even know who that is.
Milton Berle.
Like a bunch of Disney kids.
What Disney kid?
Like we did like Camp Rocks. It was like Selena Gomez and what was the other one?
I don't know.
Her friend. Demi Lovato.
Oh.
Yes,
Demi Lovato is my favorite video of all time. When people ask her what her favorite dish was in an interview. And she said, I think I like a mug.
And your favorite dish?
My favorite dish? I like mugs.
That's amazing.
And then she tried to play it off like that's not what. Like, I knew that.
I would totally answer something like that. Like I can relate to that. That's what she was thinking in her head. Maybe she does ceramics. You never know. I did have something funny with David Hasselhoff. We did like
the Hoff.
You know that show, the car show everyone likes? It's very big in England and they keep trying to make it here.
Yes.
What's it called? Top Gear? Top Gear. So this was probably 17 years ago and they did a pilot for Top Gear and David Hasselhoff was one of the hosts. And I put clothes in his room, his like trailer, and then I stepped outside and he's like, don't worry about it. You can just stay in here. I'll get dressed in here. But he wasn't creepy, but I was more like,
You saw his hog?
I didn't see his hog. He wasn't trying to show me his hog. I think he was just trying to say whatever. Like, you don't have to leave when you get dressed. It's like a normal thing.
You've never seen my hog?
No, I've never seen your hog. I've never seen it.
You've never, let's go on record. Have you ever seen my hog?
I've never seen your hog.
When I started working with you, you were working with Dr. Phil.
I was.
And when you see Dr. Phil, you're like, that's who I want to look like. Who's ever dressing this guy, let's hire them.
Oh, that show. There's a massive budget they had on that show.
More than I have spent on clothes?
Yes. I was getting all of his suits custom made in Italy. They were all Xenia. They would like open up the, the factory in Italy to make them. Like, because they would close down for the summer, especially for him, because I ordered so many suits, they would come back and open it up and make his suits.
The guy's not even a real doctor. Do you like Dr. Phil? Was he nice to you? No, that's fair enough. How long did you work for him?
I think 5 years. I think I dressed him and his wife.
You dressed his wife
yes.
too? Just for that little, she just sat in the audience and just waved?
She did.
And you put her in those clothes?
Crazy
And they were
clothes.
Gorgeous,
amazing.
How much money
clothes.
were you spending on their clothes a year? Or a season?
Couple
whatever.
$100,000.
Couple $100,000 a year on just their clothes?
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Yep. You had a good budget. We had a good budget on your show. I mean,
how much did we spend a season?
Maybe $80,000.
$80,000 a season?
Yeah.
See, that's going to blow people's mind because the show is like, you think of the show as such a cheap show. And it was relative to other shows, but yet I was still spending $80,000 a season on clothes.
I mean, if sometimes $100,000, it depends, like season of high fashion, we were probably spending maybe 60 alone on your show wardrobe. And that doesn't include like all the web redemptions and all the costuming and every like weekly, all the things that would happen weekly. That's not even any of that.
The fun stuff that we shoot when we say, hey, I need to be a butterfly this afternoon.
Yeah, I would get notes at 11 a.m. And then I would have to come 2 hours later, show up, and then put the stuff on you. And then that would be it. That's why it's stressful. I stress out. I can handle it though, but
you barely can handle it. You're always like on the verge of crying or quitting.
Well, that's true.
How much did this sweater cost?
That sweater is about $400, I think.
And how many times have I worn it on television?
Maybe one time.
Oh,
maybe.
All right, that's pretty good. We just recycle stuff.
Yeah.
How much stuff did you steal from Dr. Phil and give to me?
A couple things. Like you have some shoes and some ties. Most of the ties you wore literally for the entire run of the show was from that show. And that
was just whenever I wanted to look like an idiot, though.
Yes.
Not like cool ties.
No. Like business suit ties. Then I have a pair of like black Cole Haans and brown ones that I borrowed and just kept them at the show because I was doing both shows at the same time.
Sure. So, and I wore them for like 15 years?
You did. The same dress shoes. It was fine.
Anytime I wanted to look like an idiot?
Yeah, let's put you in a suit. I put those shoes on you.
All right. What's the worst thing you ever had to do on my show?
Oh, you were in a real bad mood one time.
Well, I'm always in a bad mood.
No, it was like real bad. And you were a clown. And I didn't have like proper clown shoes. I had like plastic clown shoes. Do you remember this?
Oh, you were trying to wedge my feet into it and it hurt my feet?
You were like getting cut up and then you were like kicking me and saying horrible things to me. And I literally ran off set. I don't know if anybody else remembers. And I was like, fuck this. And I walked off set and walked into the office. And then I started crying and you followed me.
I followed you? Dressed as a clown?
You did. You came in and you apologized. You were like, I'm sorry. I like had my limit with your feet.
Did I squeak my nose and squirt you with my flour?
You probably tried to.
That's not even what I thought you were going to say. There's two times I think, making you upset on the show. That
happened a couple times.
Yeah, of course.
But it always had to do with your feet for some reason.
Yeah, because you're not good at putting shoes on people.
Because it just takes so long. And in fittings, it's like, you're so slow though when you try clothes on. Like time slows down. You're like putting one leg on, then the other leg in the pants, and then pulling them up slowly, and then talking to other people.
I wear a lot of hats when I'm working.
Oh.
Hey, my brain is going all over the place. This is going to be manic. How come you still don't know how to tie a tie?
I just got lazy because one of the writers would always tie it. So I just went in his office. I would have
You quit all the other shows then just to work with me?
Pretty much, because it was nice. It was so much fun. We had so much fun for so long.
What about the time that you had to, there was an old guy and his balls just kept falling out of the outfit that you put him in.
I forgot about that.
And we kept telling you to go put his balls back in.
Yeah.
And you refused.
I did. He was wearing like some black S&M like vinyl outfit. He was the sweetest man. And literally his balls were like dripping out of his pants.
His balls are old.
And I just didn't. And I didn't want to have to keep telling him to put them back in there. But you guys were like, go tell him to do that.
Seems like it's definitely in your wheelhouse. The time that we made you eat those
gummy bears.
Sugar-free gummy bears that like give you diarrhea, but you didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And we were just filming you eating a bunch of them, and then you went home.
Yeah, I went home, and like Carly at the time was at the table.
Carly who?
Carly, who's now your wife.
Okay, that
Can we say that?
We shouldn't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we'll cut that out.
Oh.
Okay, I did not marry anyone that worked at my show.
Okay.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
Oh, well, she kept trying to give me like the eyeballs, like
to
don't
not
do it.
do it?
Yeah, she
Bitch,
was like,
I'll fucking go home right
table.
now.
She was like, oh, like trying to vibe me to not do it. And I was just like, but I like clear gummy bears and I'm going to eat these. Obviously, it's probably fine. I should have known better at the time. Then I came home and then it was this awful, like empty gurgling feeling, like your stomach feels big but small. And then everyone started text messaging me, checking in on me.
And then you just had diarrhea all night?
I did. I did. And then we had some doctor come in. This is when I was single and you guys were trying to set me up with everybody. Some doctor came in to give us a flu shot. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, he came in every year.
Yeah, well, he came in like 2 days after that, and I started talking about that to him, like for some reason, because he was a doctor.
Yeah,
like, and then everyone was like, "If you're trying to date this guy, you shouldn't talk about that to him."
He wasn't a real doctor. He was just somebody that would give us like free flu shots.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that.
Back in the heyday when people would just give us free stuff. Whatever happened to that?
Nike actually gave you stuff and Adidas forever. And then I think when social media became like a thing, like celebrities were like tagging it and doing all that.
And I wouldn't participate in that part of it.
So I don't think,
Bitches.
I know.
Let's talk about your dating. You're single.
No. Mm-hmm.
What happened the time you almost married a catfish?
Oh, man. That was like the last of my horrible dating experiences. It was a rough 30s for me.
You're happily married now, but
I am.
For the majority of our relationship, you were
Yes.
always just dating people that were just horrible people.
Yes, and actually the first time I met you, I was super nervous because it was some skit you were doing with Salvia. Do you remember that?
Sure.
It was like the very first time I met you, and I didn't know anything about you. And you kept talking about how much you like to do Salvia. And I was like, and I had just been dating someone who smoked so much weed that like it was a problem. And I was like, great, now I'm gonna have to work for this guy who's like on Salvia all the time.
But that wasn't real. I was just being stupid.
I know, I knew that later. But the first time I met you, I was like, oh, great.
All right. Well, anyway, that's a dumb story. But what I want to hear about is the guy that just lied to you about everything.
Yeah, he lied to me about where he went to school. He told me he was a lawyer. He told me he was a professional soccer player. He told me he was in the Olympics. He told me he owned 2 real Van Gogh paintings.
And you've just never Googled him?
No, at the time I didn't.
No way to check that out.
You can't check that stuff out. What kind of place did he have his Van Goghs in?
So he lives. No, it's so silly now, but at the time,
you were just so desperate to be in love.
I mean, maybe this was what, 13 years ago?
So you're 41?
I was, no. No. I was in my late 30s. I met him, but that like changed my life because I was like, how did I fall into that? I think I was just like, this guy looks great on paper and all my friends are married and everybody's having babies and like, he seems like exceptional. And I think I was like going down this path of like, this seems like a good partner to other people, not to me.
Well, lesson learned. You're a successful woman. You have a lot of ventures. You make pottery with your feet, I'm told.
No, make it with my hands.
Are you still making pot? Are you selling it to the general public?
I am. I mean, I
have a dish of yours
you do.
in my place in Tahoe.
Yes.
And it is just, every time I look at it, I'm just like, this is horrific.
I know, that's what you think. But it also makes me laugh because FedEx couldn't deliver like any other packages for some reason, and you got that. And I was like secretly thought that was very funny.
Speaking of Tahoe, one time you came to my house in Tahoe with a guy.
No, I did.
And all you did was you guys just stayed in a room for the entire time you were there and just were, I guess you were just having sex or sleeping or whatever. But you never came out of your room. They were guests in my home. And they were just in my house for like 3 or 4 days, and I never saw you.
That's a little bit true, but not 100% true. I brought him with me because everybody was like a couple there. And I was dating this guy at the time. And
look, I got a man too.
I got a guy. And I would literally said to him, do you want to come with me on this trip? And then he said to me, do I need to bring towels? And that should have been like a red flag. You know what I mean? Like I should have known better. And then he put like his clothes in like a trash bag and he like stuck it in my car. And like I drove up there in my car and like I put us in a hotel in the city for a night before we went to Tahoe. Like all these red flags, And then we went to your house. And I think I was just at that point so mortified. Like I knew it was just so bad that I didn't want to share this with everybody.
Sure.
So I just like kept him in a room a bit.
How many Van Goghs did this guy have?
This guy didn't have any Van Goghs.
Speaking of getting married, I got married, and you helped purchase my wife's engagement ring.
I did.
Did I spend too much?
No, you didn't at all. We went to a couple places.
It was cheap. It was good.
And then we went to my place. We didn't. We went to the magical place in Beverly Hills that had this. No, there was like a secret door in an elevator. We went to this rooftop, and I was like, "This is where you're buying your ring," and it was amazing. And I picked the stone, and I was like, that's the stone.
You sold jewelry for a while. You used to sell like high-end dog tags for like your pups.
I made them. Yeah.
You made them.
I had a company.
And that business failed?
I mean, it didn't fail. I did it for 5 years. I mean, it was set up so an investor could come in and either invest in it or it would be sold. That's how I set up the business.
Speaking of failing with businesses, let's talk about our business that we started. What did we start?
We started a toddler clothing line.
For boys.
For boys, called Boys Wear Pink.
Boyswearpink.com. I've done everything for this. The reason I started this company, and I partnered with you, I was like, let's do this company.
Yep.
It'd be a great idea because I hate clothes for my son. They're all stupid. I don't want him to wear a shirt with a Jeep on it. And it was Boys Wear Pink was the line.
Yep.
We launched it, and then I said, I'm going to do nothing because I'm tired of spending money. How much money do you think I've spent so far?
You probably spent about 30 to 40,000.
Okay.
But honestly,
that's not that much.
That is nothing to start these companies. Like nothing.
Whatever. I still have a ton of T-shirts.
There's at your house.
My house.
And there's also somewhere in Monterey Park, there's like boxes of this stuff too.
Where?
Oh, in Monterey Park.
Are we paying for that?
No.
Okay, that's good.
No, it's just sitting there.
Well, let's hopefully I just want to sell all the merchandise that we have, and then I will consider continuing it and coming out with new stuff. So right now I just need everybody.
Everybody buy these T-shirts.
Only if you have a 2 to 5 year old.
That's it, because we only have 3 sizes.
Yeah, listen. I didn't want to start broad. Have you ever stole from me?
No, but
bullshit.
You did.
You're such a liar. You're one. You know how many times I got whoever you were dating, their dry cleaning, and they got my clothes.
That did happen a couple times.
Are you a shopaholic?
No.
Is being a personal shopper stressful?
Yes.
So you do that. You're also a personal shopper. So whenever I have to buy my family gifts or something like that, I just tell you, go buy my family gifts.
Right.
And then you bring me back always just way too much. I'm like, they're my family. I don't like them like this. And we scale it back.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, you give the best gifts.
Yeah.
And it's all because of you.
Yes. But I don't enjoy personal shopping as much as.
You don't?
No. It's a lot of work. And it's all on my credit card, and it's just a lot of lugging stuff to people's houses and setting it up and then putting it back in the car and driving away with it. You have to make everything really nice and presentable. It's a very behind the scenes. I've done it for a couple other people, and I'm literally in the basement, guzzling water, because you just have to look presentable. I'm a stylist, and this is all fashion and fun.
What do you mean in the basement guzzling water? What does that mean?
I'm so hot and I'm tired, and I'm not going to do it in front of you. So I go to another room.
So you're not going to drink water in front of me? The fuck are you talking about?
Not like a crazy person, you're hot and you're tired. You
can't just have a glass of water like a normal human?
I mean, yes.
You act like what you're doing is like the most, you're pushing tin or you're, landing hijacked airplanes.
I'm not doing that. I'm not. I'm just lugging a bunch of clothes around that are expensive.
Talk about the GOAT.
Oh, yes.
You work with me on my new show.
I did.
Do you love this show or no?
No.
Why?
Well,
I love it. You were a miserable fuck on it.
I was very miserable because I was already on a show.
Well, first of all, where were we shooting the show?
We were shooting in Atlanta.
It was wonderful.
But outside of Atlanta, not in the cool part of Atlanta.
We're next to fucking Ludacris's house. That's pretty cool if you ask me.
But I was already on another show. I was already out there. It was every time I
What show were you on?
I was on Lego Masters.
Lego Masters. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, all right. Anyway, so you're in Atlanta anyway.
Yes, I was already in Atlanta. And
so you're double dipping.
Yes.
You're getting paid twice the money.
Yes.
While you're already here in Atlanta. It seems like a dream gig.
You would think so, but it was pretty stressful because the other show didn't know I was working on your show.
Right, because you were lying. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
yeah, I remember you were hiding, coming in every day, no one can see me here.
I know, and then I knew everyone on the crew. Literally, I'd worked with them on other shows, so it didn't matter. They all knew I was there. They all knew other people on the show I was working on. It didn't matter
because you were in my contract to work on my show, so it's not like they could fire you.
No, they couldn't. It was just mostly the other show, and it was all taken care of.
And now the other show has hired you back again.
They have, yeah.
And you're going to go back to Atlanta to play with Legos.
Well, yes.
You just don't like Atlanta? Because you're uncomfortable around a lot of black people?
No, it was great.
Because you're from the OC and you're not used to black people?
No.
Why don't you just say what it is? Am I the best boss you've ever had? Talk about what a great boss I was.
You were sometimes you were amazing, and then sometimes I was like, how do I get out of this?
No, don't talk about that part.
There was times when I was single and I was living in that house that you talk about, and then you were a beast for a little while. This is before you got married. You like calmed down when you like met Carly. Honestly, you became so much nicer. But before then, there was a couple years. There was like a 2-year period. You were not nice.
I was probably on a rampage.
You were. That is for sure. You were. I remember all of that.
But like what? Like you're talking about like dating and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I remember.
Are you kidding me? I go through that Rolodex every night when I crawl into bed. Look at Carly over there.
Oh jeez. She's the best.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I would have you buy gifts.
Yeah.
For people, and you didn't, and I wouldn't tell you who the gifts were for.
Well, that was in the beginning. That's when nobody knew you were dating Carly, and you had me. You were like, I really want to get my niece.
My niece?
Mm-hmm. It was like a niece or something weird.
Some slutty shoes.
Something weird, like some very like sexy shoes, like one of a kind. At the time, like Louboutins were very popular.
Sure.
And I remember being like, wow, this is so nice that he's buying this for her.
I should give those to my niece right now. I should go into the closet, find those shoes, and give them to my niece.
And I had to give them to you like in the parking lot, from my car to your car, all secret.
Listen, you're not supposed to date employees, or at least I'm told. Actually, I never understood that. I still don't understand it, really.
So many people on our show hooked up and got married with other people.
Of course. We lived together for a decade. Like,
yeah.
I don't. Who are you supposed to date if you're not supposed to date somebody that you meet at work?
I mean,
the problem is people called me boss. And I never really thought I was the boss. I always felt like the network was the boss, and I was just the person hosting the show. So I kind of felt like, no, we're all on the same playing field, but we weren't.
No. That was such a fun time on the show. Carly was on it. Sam was on it. Like there was all these fun women on that show.
So many powerful women on my show. That's really what made me who I am today is powerful women.
That is not a lie, by the way.
No, I agree.
There's like from your agent, your manager, everybody around you.
I know, just a team of women. I'm so pro. And, and now that I have a daughter, I just look at things from a different perspective.
Shut up.
Oh, I'm just such a girl dad. Whenever I see that, I just want to fucking punch the guy. I want to get a shirt. You make me a cool shirt that says girl dad, but just for the record, I like my son more. Because he's way more fun. Why don't you have a kid, Carrie? Let's talk about that.
We can talk about that.
It's not too late.
It is too late.
Are you serious?
I think so.
Well, you think so, but if you went in and had your eggs tested, do you think there'd be like 1 or 2 left?
Probably.
See?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do it.
Oh man, wouldn't it be fun to see what that kid turns? What about like these guys like Al Pacino, like 83, having a kid?
Yeah.
What, you're saying you can't spit out one at 50?
No, I don't want to.
What about adopting a kid?
No.
But they're about to age out. Like, so you adopt like a 17-and-a-half-year-old. And so basically what you're doing is you're going to pay for their college and stuff like that. And then maybe you develop a relationship. Maybe you don't, but you pay it forward and you do it just legally so that they can have a better life or a better chance at life. Why don't you do that?
No, maybe you can do that.
Well, of course I could. I could do that 20 times over. It just seems like a lot of work. I tell you what, I'm going to do that. If somebody, just tell me, I want to pick a good person too. I don't want to pick a shit person. I probably want a girl. I probably want her to be a minority, 17 years old, 18 years old, and I'll send her to college. I'll do that.
Can't you just send people to college without adopting them?
Oh. All right, never mind. Scratch what I said. I don't want to do that. I'll just start a scholarship fund for somebody. But I thought it'd be cool that I'd be their dad.
No, I mean, why at that point?
Well, it's just to help.
I know
it's a thing.
Yeah.
All right, so you don't want to have children.
No, I don't think I ever did. Maybe I did in my mid-30s.
Are you fixed?
No.
Is he fixed?
No.
So what do you guys do?
Are you
on birth control?
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. Yeah, my doctor literally was like, so if you really know you don't want to have kids, let's get you on birth control because you're going to be really pissed off if you made the decision and you got pregnant.
I don't think you should take it.
Well, why?
I don't know. Let's see what happens.
No.
I'm not going to try to force you to have a baby. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
What if your husband's like, hey, I really want to have a child right now?
Oh, then that may be the end of us.
Oh, you right. I think that's great.
Honestly, like I really have this doesn't occur to me or anything.
I think it's great. I don't think you're cut out to be a mother.
Oh, that's not true. I think in my job as a wardrobe, you're very motherly. You have to take care of a lot of people.
Well, you're dressing people.
You're dressing people.
You're dressing people like a child.
Yes.
That's for school.
Yes.
Every day of your life.
I do have that part of me. I just didn't want it. I don't know.
Were your parents mad that you never had children?
Yeah. And my mom would start sending me articles. Well, at 35, she was like, you better freeze your eggs because you're already old.
Did you freeze them?
No.
Oh, I've got eggs. I've got fertilized egg. You want one? I can give you a kid. I can give you a kid of mine.
I wish at 21 they could just be like, here, women, freeze your eggs. Because when being a 35-year-old
You know how many eggs you have at 21? So many.
A lot. So many. I mean, there's sometimes I think, what if I did have a kid at 20 and now I would have
a 40-year-old?
No, jeez. But I would have a full-on adult.
I know.
You know? I wouldn't have, I don't want a baby. I can't even deal with a puppy right now.
So if you could go back in time,
yeah,
would you get pregnant from one of those dudes at 20?
No way. Oh. I can't even imagine. Would you?
If I could go back and have sex again with all these people?
No, you're not going no. Would you want to have a kid with somebody in your 20s?
I was engaged at 21.
Oh no.
I was.
Oh no.
I was. I got engaged at 21, and then luckily we called it off a couple months before the wedding.
Oh, you got that close?
My mom went and bought a dress with her and everything. Everything was booked. Everything. She let me off the hook. What's the most single expensive article of clothing you've ever purchased for me?
There was this cardigan. I can't remember who makes it. They're very fancy. It was on Mr. Porter. It was looked like very kind of Indian.
I don't think we say that.
No, it was Native American pattern. It was a Native American pattern.
Indigenous?
Yeah, sure. And it was made out of some crazy cashmere. Do you remember this? You have it in Tahoe.
I do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it was a $3,700 cardigan.
Okay.
And that was, I remember, we used it for 30 seconds on the show. And then you took it to Tahoe.
I think I've taken family photos in it.
Yeah, it's amazing. There was one time there was a Cuccinelli sweater. I don't know if you remember this. This was the last season, and it was tan, and it was a $4,300 hoodie.
I like it.
And I said to you, I didn't realize it was this much money.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just going to tell you, do you want? And we needed it for your outfit, and you're like, fuck that, we're not spending that. So then I found a Vince one for $300 and put that instead.
This is why the rest of the country hates Hollywood, is that we're so out of touch with what everybody would spend for hoodies. We just bought a cheap $300 hoodie.
No, I'm messed up from it. Even my own shopping. When I was working for Dr. Phil and I was shopping for his wife, I felt normal that it's $2,500 for a dress. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And then I had to where am I going that I need a $2,500 dress, by the way? So it's most of this stuff is good for socialites and people on television.
Mm.
Or if you have a job, I always if I was a lawyer, I would love to wear cool outfits all the time.
You're 50 years old. Why are you pretending to be a lawyer?
Any show that they're lawyers. I'm watching The Lincoln Lawyer, Nev Campbell's character. I'm yeah, I'd like to dress like that.
You ever been nominated and won an award for your wardrobe?
I have, for Lizzo's show, actually.
Not for me.
No. I wish we did.
Not for the shit you
we
put on me.
So much fun stuff. Remember we had to make walkabout penises? Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
There were massive penises that we put on people and their heads came out of them.
And you thought you should win an award for that?
No, but it was we had to make all these crazy costumes so fast.
Were they circumcised or uncircumcised?
They were uncircumcised. No, they were circumcised. Mm-hmm. Yes. There were 6 of them.
You ever been with a man that's uncircumcised?
Mm-hmm.
Your husband uncircumcised?
He is English.
That's good. All right. Thanks for being here, Carrie.
Thank you for having me, Daniel.
I'll see you tomorrow. Tosh Show. We did it, Carl. Another banger. Man, these are getting better and better. I want to thank Carrie for being on the show. And don't tell me that I forgot to give her a gift. It's on the way. We recorded this earlier. I'm sending her all the pottery that she's made me over the years. With me as always, my dog, Carl. Hey, you remember when Twitter was called Twitter and celebrities would only tweet at airlines because they were mad about some minor inconvenience? I have a tweet that I need to send out. Dear at Alaska Airlines, I was on flight 1282 in seat 26B when a portion of your plane exploded off, causing a huge hole to open up next to me. As a result, my favorite child was ripped from my arms. Also, your flight attendant made us gate check his stroller, which doesn't seem fair. But in light of him no longer being on this flight, this is now a moot point. I hate to be that guy, but I would like to know if I will be refunded the $8 I paid to upgrade the Wi-Fi on the flight so I could binge Love Island. Now, that's obviously a joke, Carl. I wasn't on that flight, and I certainly wouldn't be sitting in 26B. But I just get so annoyed at celebrities writing to airlines. This is how every tweet should go to an airline. It should read, "Flying sucks. Your bathrooms are disgusting. Everything about the airport is dysfunctional and stressful. But thank you for not letting me have the most traumatic death imaginable. And for not having to spend 8 hours in a car with my family." All right. What do we got this week? boyswearpink.com. Look at me. I'm not afraid to wear pink. I rock it. The GOAT premieres on Amazon sometime in Q2, I'm told. Get specific, Amazon. May 4th, I'll be at the Dolby Theater for the Netflix is a Joke Comedy Festival. What else? My son. We want to hear one of his stories? You don't really care, do you? You've heard them all before. Yeah. See you guys next week. All right. That's one story, then we go to bed, okay?
Okay.
I'm sleepy.
Once upon a time in a away city. Every time people got it away from the table, the taco hamburger would take a bite of their taco. And when they came back to the table, they said, "Wait, I didn't take a bite of this. Who did?" And they saw him. They saw the taco bottle. The end.
Tosh Show. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show.